you share a house with somebody, you can't really get away from them. So
You can't.
You can though. You have
How?
to, but you have to. That's what I'm saying. It's communication. Because even if
So I'm
it's
supposed
like,
to tell him to leave.
it's not about leaving. It's like, I need my time. You need your time. And it's reality. Humans need your own personal time. And if you don't realize that, that's why most relationships y'all end up doing this because you feel
agree.
like, oh, we have to share everything. You don't have to share everything.
But I like being in my house by myself.
too,
So that's
same.
why I'm saying, maybe so I should tell him like, yo, I need you to leave for a
Or
couple
just be
hours.
like, what's your schedule like this week? You get what I'm saying? Oh, I got to be at work from 9 or whatever. Okay, cool. So that's my me time. You get what I'm saying? You know for a fact he's not coming
Especially
home.
when you're stressed and you just don't want to be, you don't like, ooh.
That's what's worse. Now he's coming home and he's thinking he's going to chill with you. You don't want to chill with him. And now he's pissed off because you acting weird. He don't know. You need your me time.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
when you're in a good relationship, in
in the shop.
about to
right, when you're in the shop getting busy, you can compromise. Like, you guys can work on certain things,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
Like, that's all workable. That's fine. Like, if you're with somebody and they respect that you need your me time and they respect you,
But
your
you have to
space,
make them do that.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But, like, when you're in a relationship and somebody is just, like, taking your peace and, like, whenever you're in a bad mood, they just make it worse, or whenever you don't feel like talking, or maybe you just are not in the mood or something like that, and you're with someone that just doesn't understand your love language. We go back to love language and doesn't understand, like, how to share a space. I feel like that's something that I cannot compromise.
Yeah. Same.
Because when I need just a moment to think, I need you to get out my face because now you're going to make me violent.
No, I agree. That's
Because
different, though.
I don't wanna be
That means he don't
bothered.
want to work it out.
Yeah,
there. 'Cause
well-
if he's not listening and doing the same things, then it's just like, he don't know his partner.
Yeah, you don't know your partner and you don't care, and it's given other things.
So a new study, a study from Morgan Stanley predicts that 45% of women are going to be single by 2030. And they're basically saying, to speak on what you guys are saying, the root to the problem is people are prioritizing their individual happiness.
Yeah.
So that's going to lead to a problematic issue in the future because people aren't going to be procreating as much as they used to because we are so busy worried about our own individual happiness.
Handmaid's Tale.
So, yeah.
of
I'm like,
all,
I
we
got
don't-
lots to say on this.
Yeah, and we don't need to procreate. The planet is raggedy.
Exactly.
This bitch
The
ain't
planet,
working.
we don't need no more people,
Also,
man.
one
We're
of the-
tearing this planet
yeah.
up.
One
We
of
got
the-
aliens in the clouds, all kind of shit happening. We don't need no more people.
Wait, can we
One
get
of
some
the big-
clarification on the point, Marie? So they're saying 45% of women will be single. How does that correlate to men?
Right, that's what
I'm
I
just-
said.
I'm just
So-
curious.
Men is
that
gonna be like
means-
75%
that
or some
means-
shit.
No, essentially what's happening is, and the women feel empowered while the men are feeling lonely. So that's what they predict.
Oh,
So
damn, I feel
as
bad now.
women become more financially secure and strong and empowered, they don't feel the need to get married, have the family, and have those support systems. So whereas 50, 60 years ago, you felt the need for that protection. So women are so empowered now that
Yeah.
it's not a thought in their mind.
We're always the losers of the
thing.
sexes.
Yeah,
Well,
if you
and they're
think
kinda
about it.
lonely.
We were always the losers of the sexes, and
Yes.
now that we realize we don't, like, we have been being controlled.
Yes,
And now we're just
completely.
like,
Like,
I need
that's
to
the
clean
thing.
your
Like,
damn house. Look at
we-
Linda's looking at me like, bitch, what?
No, I agree because I think I've always said this. I think the men role has changed. Like I think the women are more stronger sometimes than men, and it's sucky to say because I'm a man, but I agree. I see it. Women are taking care of the house and the family and everything, and then you have the men sitting there all in his emotions, and it's like, bro, get up and do something or fix the situation.
Right.
Like, and
Hang a light up.
Yeah, like I don't know. So I agree.
I need some new tile.
It's also
Figure it
about the
out.
fact that we finally have females having the free will, able to do whatever they want. They can go to get an education. They can go get a job. They can choose not to stay home with the kids. They can choose not to take care of the household. Like, all these things are extremely important for us in order
key
to
word.
get further in society. Like, we've not had a voice until now. Like, we better keep that voice.
But I always thought a woman that had like all that together is more attractive than a woman that just wants to stay home and be a housewife. I
You
don't
were
know,
one of
just
the
saying.
few. I'm just letting you know.
No, I know. No, I know that for a fact.
Like,
Because
I-
I see some
yeah.
guys, but I think guys that like a woman that's just want to be a stay-at-home or that's not the brightest, I feel like that's more controlling. I think that's a guy that just likes
but
to
I
be in
think that's
control,
like that's the common kind of like
mean,
part
that's-
of society
yeah.
at this point. Even I look at my parents and I'm like, Mom, Like, I don't want you to go out and cheat, but like, God damn it, woman,
Some
like,
action.
do
That's
something
a
for
fact.
yourself.
Get you some action.
Yeah, I'm like, I
would.
would understand it.
Right,
Girl, throw
right,
that
right.
ass in a circle.
Dad, don't watch this.
Ah.
I think it's confusing because there's a power change, right? Like finally the woman, it's not just making 75% of the dollar, but we're holding positions in society where we can actually have a say. And we don't have to give birth the same way that my parents, our parents' generation, like they would settle down with their high school sweetheart. They would start having children at 23, which paused the female from going to get an education. Like these days, like we are free as birds to do whatever the hell we want up until we choose not to.
And if a relationship is not allowing you to do that, it's okay to move on these days.
Exactly.
Because guess what?
It's not stigmatized.
I don't have to, just because you're my high school sweetheart, I don't have to marry you, and we no longer
Yes.
feel the pressure of having to stay with someone just because society is telling me I have to get married. Society is telling me that I have to be with the person I had a kid with. Society is telling me that I can't have more than one baby father. And society,
But see, that's the
But
thing.
is there
now,
a consequence to that? That's
Is
all
there?
good.
We'll have less kids.
No, yeah, I understand. Like, okay, so it's always like in theory, it sounds like it's gonna be great, but when you're like maybe 62 and you need somebody to unzip your dress in the back and you breaking your arm trying to do it by yourself.
You gotta have money.
Yeah, but do you have to settle for the person that you met in high school, or is it okay
I
to?
think the difference is I don't think people should settle, but I do think people start to begin to manage their expectations. There's a difference between settling and managing your
I think
expectations.
people find partners.
I agree with that.
Yeah, and whatever partners mean, if it's your best friend that lives with you, if you live close to your family, like you don't always have to have a partner that's like your lover at the same time. You can also have a million lovers, but you don't have to have an actual husband to take care of you, or like a wife that's like doing your course. Like I think it's important to understand that partnership doesn't have to be the way that it was when it was like the
like an
religion
arranged,
ruling.
like there was.
Yeah.
It started
When
off
it
with like
wasn't a
arranged.
partnership.
Yeah.
It
no
started
rule to
off
a
as
relationship. Period. I think that's where everybody's getting it faulted.
There's no
Yeah.
one.
There's no rule to a relationship.
yeah.
You get what I'm saying? You guys have to make your own rules,
Yeah.
and that's how it's gonna work. If I'm saying like, okay, Erin, you're gonna be the one that's bringing in the money, then what are your rules for me? And then I have to be able to play that role.
Yeah.
And if I can't, then I have to shut up.
Right,
So this
exactly.
is
But
the
those were-
problem with that. So there, and while I totally agree with you, there you have to have men who are on board with that,
Right.
and the women have to be on board with that. And right now, within the last 50 years, there's been a huge change in the power dynamic between men and women, and we can see that women are pushing the line, pushing forward, but men, unfortunately, are kind of still stuck.
It's too much to deal with. That's
You know,
why.
they're still stuck because that is how things have always been, and it's very hard to change things that have always been a certain way.
I think
No, not for you.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
for you.
No, I
But
know.
for like the general.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
like the
but I'm
general
saying for the
public.
general, I feel like it's honestly it's like for men, and I agree with that. And I feel like the reason why men are stuck, I think, because we don't know how to change. And
Exactly.
we don't like change sometimes either as guys. And I feel like that's where I had to come in as a man myself and looking at me like, okay, so if I want to change this, what am I going to do to fix that? And if you don't do that ever, you're going to be in that stuck same position. And I feel like that's
ego.
where we are.
And it's challenging the actual like the whole foundation of
Mm-hmm.
marriage. And marriage, as much as
woman,
like we're
I
not
can't have
like
that
very
happen.
deep into like the marriage part, marriage was a way for you to like control power, keep power, and have certain rules applied to that
Bloodline,
situation.
money,
yeah,
everything.
that is not
Consolidation of
right.
power and resources.
But if
Yeah.
you tell yourself, but how does a man compromise when we come from a time where they used to say my wife has to be a virgin? So now women being like, look,
That's exactly like men are having such a difficult time figuring out how to change. And I'm not saying it's a good it's not looking real good. But like I understand that it's difficult to
some
change.
grace.
Yeah, no,
Right.
that's what
We're
I'm
gonna
saying.
get it.
yeah.
It's very hard to change that, and I understand, but somebody got to wake up and be like, yo, I can't expect for my wife to go out and work every day, or my partner to go out and work every day, to come home to cook, to clean, to fuck around with these kids. Like, I can't, and I'm just gonna sit at the house.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go to work. That's all I'm gonna do. No, you
Yeah.
need to get your ass up and help and do something.
kids are annoying.